Morning, everybody. Art Gramaje here, Father Art. I've been thinking about those three chords, C, D, and G, and how fun they are to play. Welcome. Thank you for tuning in to this podcast called Art and Soul. It's primarily about my helping my mother here in the house where I grew up in Seattle, Washington. Role reversal. She is the 3-year-old now, and I'm doing my best to make things work here. So, this podcast is just about what's happening these past couple of weeks. I record this podcast every other Friday with just random musings the off Fridays. So, again, thank you for tuning in. It's Thanksgiving weekend, and yesterday I had a nice, wonderful, blessed, graced time with family and friends here. I cooked up a turkey, and Mom ate it up like a champion, mixed that turkey in with stuffing and cranberry, and she was all over it, as was I. But she didn't have a second helping like I did. What I want to talk about today primarily is the help that I get. I've thought often that there is just no way, if it was just me here, I wouldn't have been able to survive 4 years so far. I probably would have given up after 6 months, if that long. I am, in the context of Thanksgiving, I am eternally grateful for my nieces and all of the hours that they have spent here helping take care of my mother. They help her get ready in the morning with her personal stuff, showering, dressing. And that's a quick escape for me. And it's at least 30 minutes, sometimes longer, but enough to get down to Kubota Gardens or Dead Horse Canyon and commune with some trees and get their energy. So my nieces have sacrificed their time and really fill that need that I just can't do. Psychologically, there's just some barrier that I have, and just the thought of it just makes me nervous and anxious. So I am very grateful for my nieces and their love for their grandmother. And I am thankful for the one caregiver who has been constant. It's been several months now, and she's been a godsend. One of my, I guess, MOs in terms of other people coming in is I want them to be recommended by someone I know. I've seen lists on the internet for people who give care to elderly folks and the fancy websites that list all sorts of things about the person, but I just don't want to just randomly go down a list of folks who would come into our home and I'd entrust my mother to them for a number of hours. So this caregiver that I utilize now is wonderful. Her name is Marie. She takes care of a couple of elderly folks almost full time. And so she fits in her time here primarily at nighttime. And so I can get out, and get together with friends and have dinner and just get out. Just getting out. If I just drove around for 2 hours, I would be happy. Um, so, nonetheless, Marie has been great and trustworthy. She came recommended when I was at a funeral, helping with a funeral. Some old time neighbors mentioned that she had helped their family. So she's been wonderful, and I thank God for Marie and the hours she puts in. Um, but I had a disappointment this week. I maybe 2 months ago I had found another caregiver who then at that time said that she can come in and as many as 3 times a week. Oh, I was in heaven. Oh, I approached the pastor at the South End cluster parishes here, Father Scott, and said, "Hey, I can do some ministry because I found another caregiver, and this is going to free me up for more hours." And I was so happy, and we made plans and for me to take on a new ministry starting in January, but to do some foundational work here in December, coming up next week, actually, during Advent time to facilitate a small group, reflection group during Advent. But alas, I found out this past week that this second person caregiver who had come in during the month of October, and it seemed like it was working out great. Um, her situation has changed because of her family, and she's not able to help. She informed me, which made my heart sink. In my head, I understand. Her family comes first, and she actually is. Well, I don't think the details are that important for this, but just she had to she had to step back, and I think she felt badly too. But um, what's the old saying? 2 steps forward, 1 step back. So that has um, got me down. And I notice within myself that when I get down because of this situation, I can get resentful. Those feelings of resentment can be strong. And unfortunately, I can take it out on my mother because she's the reason why I'm here. And if I'm feeling this strongly, my crazy head says this is her fault, where of course it's not. It's just the situation. But that doesn't ease the feelings at times. I do feel resentful. I don't want to be here. This isn't my calling. But it's real. Ergo, yeah, it is my calling for now. But in my worst moments, I reject it, and these feelings of resentment sneak in, and then I get emotional, and I take it out on my mom. On the scale of things, my mom is okay. I read this Facebook page from AARP, um, and caregivers stories, and holy cow, I I read those stories and think, oh my goodness, I have it easy here compared to this situation or this caregiver or this person who is much more anxiety prone situations and more difficult situations, and people who really feel isolated and alone. I know it's a trap to compare because obviously this caregiving situation that I'm in is real for me and these feelings are real, but I yeah, I'm just not wired for this naturally, and obviously I've learned some things over these 4 years, but I still fail often, it seems. So, art and soul. Um, my faith is bringing me forward in this. Mornings are great. I love my mornings because that's when I get to really step back and reflect and recharge. It's been crazy. I've been wanting to go to sleep at 8 o'clock, but then I wake up at 2:33, um, and so I think my body just needs 6 good hours of sleep, and I'm fine, I think. And then if I want to take a nap during the day, I'll do that. Um, but the routine continues. The feelings continue. The boredom continues. In some ways, I consider myself very fortunate how I just get to enjoy entertainment on TV, uh, Netflix in particular. And I'm fortunate because in the morning I just look up what NBA games are on and bide my time till 4, and then I can really just escape into pro basketball. Yeah, that's the routine. Sorry for the rambling. So, caregivers and resentment. Those were the themes today. Thank you for listening. Whoever you are, I am praying for you. And I ask you once in a while, pray for my mother and me.